Ho Chang rests his rifle across a branch and focuses its sights on the American infantryman. Ho Chang is 14 years old. He is a guerrilla fighter, a skilled assassin, a sniper. Concealed high in a tree that a short time ago he climbed in play, he reaches and methodically plucks a leaf from his line of fire. Killing is his single remaining pleasure. Don't go. Ho Chang is a fanatic. He became a fanatic 6 months earlier while watching his mother, father, and beloved sister run screaming from the pyre of curling flame and smoke that had been their home. He watched his loved ones, each a wild torch, stumbling crazily through the village and finally sprawling, laying in the dust. Eyeless, hairless, black smoking hulks that twitched and emitted sounds not human. In the terrible, racking, sobbing agony of his grief, the boy knelt beside the charred remains of his family and pleaded that he too might die. Their hut had been struck by an American bomb. Don't go. The American infantryman, Private Eugene Roberts, is in his first day of combat. Always a peaceful boy and raised in the quiet suburbs of Los Angeles, Private Roberts had never been involved in physical conflict until today. Today he has killed 3 people. A few hours earlier, his squad was fired on from a dense thicket by a number of the enemy. The boy beside him suddenly stopped and turned, a puzzled expression on his face and a small red oozing hole in his forehead. Don't go. Private Roberts, in a blurred rage of revenge, followed his combat training. Running, zigzagging, firing from the hip, he charged the thicket with his squad. A flurry of shouts, of confusion and violent hand-to-hand combat resulted in Private Roberts shooting 2 uniformed boys and pulling his bayonet from deep in the breast of a third, a slim uniformed enemy, a girl enemy, a girl younger than he. Their eyes had locked, his in young blue irised horror, hers in brown, graceful, long-lashed acceptance that glazed to death while he watched and whimpered. Don't go. Alone now, lost from his squad, wandering aimlessly, he slogs through the lonely landscape. Dazed, oblivious, mumbling to himself, his mind has returned home, to Los Angeles, to the suburban high school he last year graduated from, to 16-year-old Donna, who still attends the school. Donna, who promised to wait, who writes long, chatty, lonesome letters on wide-ruled notebook paper. Don't go. Private Roberts' head looms large, circle-framed in Ho Chang's telescopic sights. The boy feels grim satisfaction at the imminent destruction of another American. He pauses. Deciding against a quick death, he lowers his sights on the enemy figure and slowly, skillfully squeezes the trigger. The rifle jumps, kicks solidly against his shoulder, and a single violent crack of sound shatters the insect-buzzing, bird-calling tropical day. The immediate absolute silence that follows hangs still and ominous on the warm, heavy air. Don't go. The hate-altered, hollow-nosed bullet makes a small, smoldering hole in Private Roberts' tunic, enters his side below the ribs and above the hip bone. Expanding rapidly, it plows a deep hole through the abdomen. Private Roberts throws up his hands, and as a wind-up soldier whose toy spring is burst, staggers crazily, wildly, awkwardly. He does not fall. Stunned by the bullet's slamming impact, he fails to understand what has happened. But immediately, the numbness begins to change to pain, a trail of dull pain across his belly. He looks down and in a confused stupor unbelts his tunic. Don't go. He stands there, swaying in shock and bewildered comprehension, while with fear-fumbling fingers he tries to unbutton the shirt. Sweat pours over his face and his lips move, trembling. The real pain hits him then. Its white, hot sear is terrible. He rips frantically at the red seeping cloth, buttons fly, the shirt opens. He sees the wound from which his entrails now bulge. A wound that now sluggishly disgorges long, grotesque ropes of mangled gut, of yellow, dismembered, quivering glands, of blue, ruptured, spurting arteries, a hanging, mutilated mass of brown, leaking intestine that dangles and splashes to the ground. Don't go. Private Roberts begins shaking his head in unbelieving protest. He mumbles, "No, no, oh God, no." Swaying, crying, still moving his head in denial, he He clumsily grasps the mangled mess of maimed entrails and begins to stuff them back into himself. For a few seconds, he plays the hopeless game. His legs begin to shake violently, to jump uncontrollably. They buckle. Don't go. Still striving to hold his intestines within himself, Private Robert slowly sinks to his knees. He kneels there, and his blood bleeds a clear crimson stain. He understands then the futility, dimly understands his death. As head bowed, he watches his weakened hands fall away, and the bulging intestines emerge, though floating out like bright-hued tentacles reaching across the void. Don't go. Private Robert's face contorts with the last flashing emotions of his young, quick life. No glory, no thoughts of country, no audience, no movie soldier, brave, clenched cigarette wisecracking death, no patriotic slogans in his fading mind. He sobs his last now, nods in final acceptance, and as thousands and thousands of more dying boy soldiers before him, he piteously asks for that woman who bore him and who eased each childhood pain. Quietly, softly, he whispers, "Mom, Mother, I." And upon the sunlit surface of a far distant native land, only a red smear remains. 19 years of clean young promise gone. Shot to hell. Don't go.